So are you training to be a priest?
Yeah, trained to be a priest. And I'm still Catholic. I try to live the Catechism of the Catholic Church. I try to live the Social Compendium of the Catholic Church. And even my activism is largely anchored on the message of Christ. Like last Sunday when we were in church, we read from the book of Isaiah, the first reading. And the prophet Isaiah, when he was seeing the glory of God, holy, holy, and what have you. And then God says, whom shall I send? And Isaiah says, here I am, send me. You find the same came to Peter, going to, and he sent Paul in the Corinthians, the second reading, when he was going to Damascus. He gets his moment when he encounters Christ. You find, you go to, when we read the gospel, I think the gospel is from the book of Luke, and it was about Jesus was preaching, and how Peter was told to become a fisher of men, and then they went and caught fish, and they say Peter left all that and followed Jesus and stuff like that.
So in short, are you saying that you find yourself
there's
as one
an
who is
encounter of God in our lives? The challenge of Christ to be my witnesses, the challenge of Christ to be the good Samaritan, all those things are the foundation of my activism, and I try to say that this world, this rich God that created us, who put all these things in the world, should be enjoyed by everybody. It should not be for a small few. And how much do you need in life? How much do you need? The other day the Pope came here. He drove in a small car. Did it make him a lesser Pope? It didn't.
Not at all.
So what do you really need in life? And you find people in this country have destroyed this country, stealing, and stealing. And even as we speak today, if you have not seen the papers, but I think you will see something that will be there about the Communications Authority. There's a big war there. The board was, the thing is being dissolved. And at the heart of it is fees, $27 million, that is supposed to be paid to the taxpayer. That's about 2.7 billion Kenya shillings. They're supposed to be paid to the taxpayer. But some cartels in government and whatever want that money. And so they're kicking out the board which is trying to do the good work. So when you find all those things hitting you, you can't help saying that this country can be better, and trying to urge that we people who are put in this country by God himself to glorify him. And if you look at the prayer, Our Father, if you look at that prayer and pray it listening to what Christ was saying, if you look at that prayer and use it as a construct within which you put Kenya, or if you look at our national anthem that sang there, if you look at our national anthem, which is also a text in our constitution, if you look at the national anthem, you'll find that there's a very clear definition of where this country should be, of what we ought to be. And so my activism is largely to say that, okay, we are this, but the challenge is we ought to be something else.
Okay. What inspires you to get to a point where you are so passionate about what you believe, despite the fact that you may be doing this alone? I'll take an example of the time you chained yourself at the police headquarters. What even made you think of doing that? There are many other avenues you could have used.
One thing is that when I went to the police headquarters, I had 2 chains. People saw 1 chain. But if you have to play the footage and look well, I had 2 chains. I had this chain,
which you still have,
which I still have, my rosary, and I had the other chain. So when I went to that thing, I'm still chained to this chain. When I went to the other chain, the police station, I wanted to make a message. I tried to call a press conference. You people of the media had been given some instructions by Mijoki, you are not coming, what have you. So what was the thing? I said, well, if the media can't come to me, I'll make them come to me. So I chose a location where I went, and I was able to make my statement. And even for the first time, even CNN covered it. And I was really pained to see ordinary people being killed for a political issue. of none of their co-making.
I think they want to see the chain, if I can just hold it. This is the chain.
And
he's
in fact,
talking
that's the
about.
exact rosary. That's the very rosary
This is the very rosary that you had
had
at that time.
Yeah.
Okay. Which I'm sure you count the beads or something when.
Yeah, we prayed on that. And the most important thing that you do in this rosary is the prayer to the greeting of the angel to Mary. The angel says to Mary, full of grace. And every time I say that, I ask him, what are you full of? You know what grace is? The angel says to me, Hail Mary, full of grace. There's no room for anything else. Everything is her is
full.
grace.
It's full of grace.
Now,
Okay,
and you, what are you full of? Pride, greed, envy, hate, love. What are you full of? What am I full of? You see? So these are the questions we ask. And at the end of the day, it's not about others. It's about you. So when I say that prayer every day, I see that full of grace. And the challenge to grace, to have the grace of God in you. And like this year, the Pope has declared the year of mercy, dedication to the divine mercy, the fact that you cannot be saved other than by the mercy of God and the love of God. And that God, you are made in the image and likeness of God. Unless I worship God in you, I cannot worship the God I don't see. I must worship the God I see. And the God I see is you.
Let's go back to your chain and the fact that the media had refused to give you coverage. Is it the message that you had was so important that had to be covered? What made you,
Yeah,
what
the
drove
message
you
was
to a
so
point
important.
where you felt that it must be
The
done?
message was so important, and the message was that Raila and Kibaki sit down and get a political solution. Stop killing Kenyans. Because Raila and Kibaki were killing Kenyans. Why? You see? And that's what I'm saying, stop killing, and you see the police were being used. And that's what they say, and that's why I chose the police. You are supposed to protect lives and lives.
Not to
And
kill.
not to kill. And also pain seeing people dying all over like rats. Yeah.
Okay. Many people would probably have the same pain. Maybe, I don't know whether to the degree that you did, but obviously many people were disturbed with what was going on. But you'd not find many people going to chain themselves to a police station. What is it that gets you to that point where you actually say, you know what, I'll have everybody have attention on me to get this message across?
It's because I tell God, send me. And I get those ideas. Just as I've said to you yesterday reading on Sunday on the prophet Isaiah, when God says, whom shall I send? Isaiah says, here I am, send me.
So you're a sent one.
No, I pray that I be so. And as St. Francis says, make me an instrument of this. We are all sent. We are in this world for a purpose. We have all been sent to do something in this world. We are not robots in this world. We are not just furniture. We are human beings with a will, with an intelligence, and with a capacity, the ability to choose between good and wrong. And so, when I see things going bad, I take a stand, and that's what an activist is. When you look at Jesus Christ was an activist. When he went to the temple, he kicked those characters who are doing things out. You want immediate answers. And the other thing is that in this country, we are a largely religious society. If you look at, be you Muslim, be you Hindu, be you whatever, we believe in the supernatural. But when you come to, like if I look at the Christian domain, you will find that religion has become largely a clerical thing, largely a priestly calling, whereby you have got big basilicas, big cathedrals, big churches, big ministries. But the prophetic church is no longer there.
Okay.
They were the kind of thing you saw people like Muge, people like Okulu, people like Cardinal Otunga, calling and demanding that it be done, that there should be justice, there should be social justice.
Okay. And you've been to court many times for
And I'm going to
civil
court.
cases.
I'm going to court today. I'm filing a new one today.
What are you
about
filing for today?
the thing I've just told you about disbanding. The Communications Authority, a board, is supposed to be an independent authority. There's a structure in law how to remove those fellows. There's everything. Then you find that the government just wakes up and it sacks the entire board because the board has stood up to their attempt to exempt somebody from tax. And
Okay.
yeah.
So you've been to court God knows how many times, and you've got so many cases that are going on, including the one that you're going to court today. How do you get your funding? Who funds you?
Well, I'm not a poor man to begin with, in the sense that I'm able to earn my income. And I don't hire lawyers. You saw the other day my friend I've been saying was charging Kidero 25 million. When I file a case, I don't need 25 million. I just need the filing fees, which is not much. And I do the paperwork myself. I don't hire a lawyer.
So are you a lawyer by profession?
No. I told you I did a bit of engineering and stuff like that. But I'm able to stand up and argue. I'm able to make a pleading. So I'm able to draft.
So you normally do it yourself? You draft your own summary. Okay, and also where do you get the time? Because at the end of the day, if you're working really...
It depends. You know, I don't do work like yours. There was somebody who was here before I came in, talking about business owning and entrepreneurship and what have you. It is that there's a lot of clean money in this country. If you position yourself well and do trade, you can buy cereals from one point, look for market elsewhere, add value, and you're okay. And you don't need to do 24 hours moving cereals. You just need to know where the store is, where the market is, how the transport will occur. Some time back when before the sugar barons messed up the sugar industry in Western, I had tractors that used to plow for the sugar industry and stuff like that. So I engage in business and I take 10% of my, first of all, because of the kind of things I do, I don't need to sit in a place for 24 hours or 12 hours or 8 hours. I have a lot of time. I have a lot of time on my hands. I write. I've published books. I think I have 6
Even plays. I've seen you've written quite a number of plays.
I've done quite a number. Some of them are set books. I'm not read here in this country. I don't know why. But I do very well out there. I've got books on the black drama series in the US. I think 4 of my plays are taught in colleges there, and I get royalties and stuff like that. So from here and there, and I also don't spend a lot on myself. I live a very easy life. Yeah. Okay. So I don't need if you give me 100 shillings today, I will survive and be happy.
You'll be okay.
Yeah. So I don't need a billion. And you know, a billion, spending 100,000 a day, you need 27 years and 3 months to finish. Why would I need that kind of money? And especially when it is stolen. You don't need it, it will kill you.
Don't need it. All right, let's come to some of the issues that we have in the country currently. And I'd like to hear your take, for example, because that's a place you're in the corridors of justice, left, right, and center, seeking civil action. What do you think of our judiciary?
I have faith in the judiciary. It's the only institution that is still working, despite the challenges. Parliament is dead, full of baboons and monkeys that I've told you.
The ones you've said they've degenerated.
Yeah, they've degenerated from being human beings into monkeys. The executive also tries a bit, it's captive to corruption. Of the 3 arms of government, the judiciary works.
So are you giving it a clean bill of health?
I'm not giving it a clean bill of health. There are challenges. There are judges whom we have issues with. There are judges who don't like some of us. They will do all manner of things. But at the end of the day, when you look at what is happening in this country, the judiciary, to me, is trying, and there's still there's room for this to work. And also it is the only institution that can change this country if it puts its feet down, really. But they say bad habits die hard. And so there are those challenges. And right now I know that there are issues of alleged corruption in the Supreme Court. From my training and upbringing, I think I go where the evidence leads me. I'm averse to speculating, because one thing I was trained is to be able to keep my word. So if I was to speculate and give my word, and tomorrow things change, then I might have to eat my words. So we'll let it play out, and we hope that the truth will eventually come out, and we see what it is. But that is 1 or 2 judges. And also corruption in the judiciary, for me, goes beyond just people taking money.